I think there are a number of things that are really beneficial about CUBO membership. The first is the networking opportunity. The jobs that we do, particularly in senior leadership roles, can be very lonely places, and actually what you forget sometimes is there are a lot of people going through similar challenges at exactly the same time, and that shared understanding, that shared opportunity to share best practice, to find new ideas, to find ways of coping with challenging situations, and CUBO membership really helps to unlock that. And the second thing is it helps people at a lower level within our organisational structures to grow their own careers, to learn new things, to find out more about what they could do with their capabilities, their skills, and broadening that out, not just for us across Scotland, but across the rest of the UK, is hugely beneficial for talent and succession planning for the future of our organisations. I think the first is through the website. The website is a really useful resource. Invariably, whether it's finding something from a policy perspective, finding up-to-date information during the pandemic that's come from the respective governments, it was a useful resource from that perspective. But also the forum and the opportunity to pose questions and to relatively quickly, we're all busy people, but relatively quickly get answers from colleagues in other institutions. That's the main way. More recently in Scotland, we've set up a regional group, and that's been a really good way to come together on a regular basis online, but also in person, to encourage people to meet and to discuss topics and to share ideas and to ensure that our voices are heard on a national stage, particularly through government liaison as well. I mean, I would have said this before the pandemic, but certainly since COVID, the opportunity to come together in person is hugely valuable. You forget how important that is. Seeing is believing, so the opportunity to come to another institution, to look at what they've been doing, to see some of the new innovations that have taken place. It's a couple of years since I've been at Warwick, and lots has changed in that time, so the opportunity to see that here today has been really valuable. But beyond that, the opportunity to network with sponsors, to network with some of the people in the private sector particularly, to help prompt ideas, to help think about what we might be doing differently, to sense check things, to test things out. And then beyond that, of course, the social aspect. You know, we are all a great bunch of people, and we've got lots of different backgrounds, and the opportunity to bring that together and to share some of that and meet new faces is hugely valuable, and it's far better done in person than anything else. I think for me, what's been tricky to keep track of over the last couple of years has been future insight. And actually this programme is all focused around insights and how that might help us shape our ideas for the future. So I think particularly from an economic perspective and from an academic background perspective. So I think things which are telling us a bit about the economy and future opportunity there, but also more likely what else is happening in higher education. So I think those two aspects will be really, really useful, really interesting.
Great. I have got one more question. We're editing this, so it doesn't have to say it. And that is, we have people. You have people working for you. Have different reports working in specific roles. Is CUBO helpful in opening up to them the possibility and awareness of what else goes on in the university and other roles and how you all fit together to create a campus experience?
Yes, it is, but I think it's an area we can get more out of. I joined higher education from the private sector, and the thing that has probably frustrated me most in my time has been a historically vertical way of thinking, where actually I'm used to a much more horizontal, cross-functional way of working. And I work very hard to encourage my own team to think in that way. So, you know, CUBO very much is looking to do that through our Scottish Regional Group. We're trying to broaden it out from just talking about accommodation restrictions in residences to thinking more broadly about the other aspects of commercial services. So the more we can do to help people see that there is a life beyond being an assistant accommodation manager or being an operations manager in a catering outlet, the more we can encourage people to think about their broader skills and the knowledge they have that might enable them to forge a career in institutions but in different roles, I think is really, really critical. And the more we can do in that learning and development space in the future, the better.